Streaming cyberspace into your place from Langley Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's 6th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series Season 25. Now, last round at Kern, an incident that happened in the race before between J.R. Shepard and Bruce Pearson penalized Pearson off the pole to grid him in the back of the pack, sliding Chris Davis to the inside of row 1 and the early lead. They didn't get far under green as Brendan Myers and Tim Shanowski got together on the opening lap, allowing everyone to catch their breath. Todd Liston got around Davis for the lead, but capitalizing on a good starting spot thanks to a poor previous result, J.R. Shepard found himself in front a dozen laps later. Liston struggled, making contact at various times with Lowell Jewell, Austin Belke, and Michael Goodman. Liston wound up in 16th. While racing near the front, Chris Davis and Jason Menda got together, causing trouble for many a trailing driver. But Menda survived the contact, and when they went green, he found himself challenging Jeffrey Harden for second. The Yellow Fest continued on lap 86 when Adam Shane hit the parked Chris Davis. Mercifully for the bladder challenge, the race stayed green from then on, and Shepard beat Harden and Menda to the checker flag, earning the 17-time champ his 4th win in 5 tries. Tonight, the season hits the dead center halfway mark. Shepard is poised for his 18th crown, but Jeffrey Harden and Matt Hoos are still close enough to keep the points leader honest. So pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for some simulated short track racing action about to stream your way. From the Speedway that was complicit in the Apollo 11 moon landing hoax, a warm Virginia hello and welcome on this Saturday night, February 10th, 2024. Subbing for Ricky Harden, Papa John Hine joins yours truly, Bill Suits on high up in the VGN broadcast booth, bringing our words eye view. We play Ryan Seneca, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, it's time for a special Saturday night edition of Hine Behind the Wheel. John's out there right now piloting one of these late models around. John, how's it feel?
Well, first of all, Soup, I was only supposed to be here Friday, and thanks to your conspiracy theory, Mark Phelps Jr. decided to detain me, so here I am again on Saturday. But I'll tell you, this car has a whole lot of grip compared to that other SK that was all slick and really sketchy. I'm going to let these guys get by me here out here. But, you know, this car is really stuck to the ground, and that's going to be both good and bad. It's going to be easier for these guys to get around as you get through the corners, easier to roll. You can get on the throttle early here. Right through here is where the car would break loose last night in the SKs. Same thing about getting into the corner. You could overdrive it, the thing would want to break loose. You're not going to have that issue here tonight. Now, while that part of it's good, the bad part's going to be his tire wear. This thing is going to eat this right front tire up, and you can do that by overdriving into the corner here, or even getting into the throttle a little too early, sliding the nose out. And well, we got J.R. Shepard to the inside here. I should door him maybe, but we'll let him by tonight. But if you slide that front end, next thing you know, late in the race here, Soup, watch for guys that are going to, the problem it's going to create a corner exit. When you get here late in the race, some guys are going to be able to get back on the throttle, get a good launch down the straightaway. Some guys are going to have to manage that throttle because with no tires on that, not a lot of grip on that right front, the nose of the car is going to want to shoot out to the wall, and they're going to have to lift to keep from hitting the wall. So when you got guys lifting where some guys are accelerating, bad things can happen.
Pulling it down in pit lane there, you see the cloud-festooned Virginia sky pushing the banking right out of this track here at Langley. All right, with practice still going on, let's take a quick look at the points. You know, no drivers made their season debut at Kern, so the number of drivers who have raced at least once this season remains at a Baskin-Robbins-like 31, with a dozen having raced in all previous 5 events. We'll be able to bring those graphics up for you now as it kicks back over into actually gridding up the field. J.R. Shepard, Jeffrey Harden, and Matt Hoos are the only drivers who've completed all 500 scheduled laps this season. Shepard, of course, has 5 wins, Harden a pair of runner-ups, and Hoos' best was a 3rd. After starting the season with 3 top 5, Austin Belke has missed the top 10 ever since. Ribeye Joe Snyder is coming off a Kern 10th. Kern saw Todd Liston miss the magic pole invert spot by 1. He was 16th. A pair of 20ths bookend a 9th, 3rd, and 6th for Adam Shane. Kern saw the boss man, Lowell Jewell, post a season-best fifth. How about that? It was a season-worst ace-team for the spotlighted driver, John Wilson. You know, that 10.5, my partner's overwager, was the winning bet. And finally, it looks like the effects of taking out the points leader at Sobo weighed heavily on Bruce Pearson's psyche as he finished next to last at Kern. There you have it. That's going to bring it to our soup of the day, over-under spotlighted driver. And Simon and Poindexter have decided to spotlight Mike Holloway. Now, he's only raced twice. He has a 17th and an 11th. Those boys in the smoked-filled back room of those Vegas casinos have put the number at 12.5. John, bet the under if you think he'll do 12th or better, the over 13th or worse.
I'm going to go with experience at this racetrack and go with the under.
Certainly Holloway has the experience. With that, let's go ahead and look at our grid. We got to hustle through. We got a big field. Trey Bloom and Matt Janowski make up the first row.
Austin Belke, Matt Janowski, row 2.
Mike Holloway, our spotlighted driver, and Joe Snyder in the 6th spot.
Matt Hoos, Joe Segala in 4th row.
Jeffrey Kemper and Lowell Jewell make up row 5.
Aiden Young, Jeff Harden, 11th and 12th.
Points leader J.R. Shepard, the Bakers has the spot with Todd Liston outside of him.
Starting 15th will be John Wilson. Next to him will be Mike Allen.
Adam Shane and Chris Davis go 17th and 18th.
Ruben Altis and Bruce Pearson are 19th and 20th.
In Blackjack, Donnie Moore, Daryl Weineker in the double duck spot.
And riding at your field will be Kurt Smith.
In the pace car tonight, a woman of vintage, but she can still shovel a snowfield driveway like a teenager, the always mesmerizing Josie Kirkland. We go green. Chuck-a-lug, makes you want to holler hidey-ho as they work through corners 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, it is Trey Bloom in the 32, leading the way. The 07 of Tim Shanoski right behind him, looking to see if he can make up some ground. Little battle back for third. It's Belke on the inside. Trying to roll the top side is the 31 of Matt Shanoski with the 30 of our spotlighted driver, Mike Holloway, looking on right now. Right now, sitting in 5th. Holloway is good bet for John as the underbet. Meanwhile, a pass for the lead. Bloom gets stuck on the outside, and that's going to put the younger and less handsome brother, Tim Shanoski, out in the lead.
Yeah, we saw this happen last night. Everybody wanted to be on that bottom. If you got stuck out on that top side, away you went. You started falling back and had to find a place to slot in the line.
They are single file all the way back to the Baker's Dozen spot now as they get that sorted out, with the exception of Matt Shanoski, who's still stuck on the top side. Matt Hoos rolls underneath him, and he's going to try to bring Jeffrey Happy Kemper with him as well. Poor Matt cannot get down there. Everybody else is single file. It's a little double file. Here comes J.R. Shepard. He gets to the inside of Jeffrey Harden. J.R. Shepard is up from 13th, 3 spots into 10th. Let's look at Harden right now. Harden now, that's the 75 underneath him. Harden really trying to get down there, but the freight train is coming. After the 75 of Wilson, that's going to be Adam Shane. Oh, it's going to be tough for Harden to get down in there. Meanwhile, Shanoski has able to settle in. He finally got the inside line. He settles in 7th spot.
Yeah, and they're side by side a little bit further back. Adam Shane and Jeff Harden now both on side by side as they come out of turn 2 here. A little door bump in there. Harden tries to get back to the bottom and still cannot make that work.
Harden really trying to find a way down there. He finally gets it done as he slips in front of Ruben Altis. He'll sort down into the Baker's Dozen position. Another side-by-side battle. This is Mr. Aggressive on the inside of the boss man, Lowell Jewell. This is a battle between the 7 and the 2 for 17th position. It looks like there's an opening for the 2 to duck down in front of the 59, and I believe he's going to be getting there in front of Mike Allen. There's plenty of room, boss man, if you want it. He's having a hard time getting that deuce down, and that's going to mean the 59 ducks underneath him. This is the best racing on the track right now. They are single file all the way up till we get to our leader, which is Tim Shanoski, who has led 8 laps. Trey Bloom was only able to hang on for the very first lap before Shanoski got around him on lap 2.
Yeah, now they're all primarily single file here. Now it's going to be a game of who can serve their tires the best. You got to have those tires later in the race, and right now is the time that you need to be taking care of them.
Oh, take a peek at just ahead of the battle we're looking at. This is a battle with Todd Liston and indeed Chris Davis got underneath. My gosh, John, I saw Davis get both tires, both the left and the rights, underneath the yellow line to make that car go.
Yeah, no yellow line rule like you see at the super speedways in Daytona. These boys can get down there. And, you know, I was using that line in practice believe it or not, you can make the car rotate a little bit better, dipping those tires below that yellow line, and Chris Davis did that there and was able to get underneath Liston.
You see up there getting freight train, that is Jeffrey Happy Kemper. Boy, he's been having a great season. He's had some great race results right now. But right now, he's back in the popcorn position, looking to battle between 17-time champ J.R. Shepard and your points leader, who just got under Matt Shinowski. Shinowski started in 4th. He's fallen back, double that, into 8th position right now. Here comes Shepard. Shepard knows he's got a ways to go. We're only 15 laps in, and your point leader has already picked up 6 spots on the way to the front.
Yeah, and this is a track, you know, I've raced JR for years, and the one thing JR is always just so good at is how he's able to get a run off the corner and turn down under people. And this is a track that's gonna serve him very well here. Let's put it that way.
Our contract with the drivers union mandates that we have to focus on the leader a little bit. So let's go ahead and look at the 07 right now. That is Tim Shinowski. Tim's got to be saying, what do I got to do to get a little bit of screen time? When I run back in the pack, you don't cover me. When I run up front, you don't cover me. Well, we're on you right now, Tim. You're having a great race. You started outside of row 1. You were able to get around Trey Bloom. How about Trey Bloom, who's racing up there too? Started on the pole, has not fallen back. Then there's Austin Belkey. Belkey with the speed. He is either feast or famine for the 24. You'll either see him racing up front for a win somewhere in the podium, or you'll see him in the very back. He's in 3rd right now. There's our spotlighted driver. Boy, do Simon and Poindexter know who to put the camera on. It's the number 30 of Mike Holloway. Started 5th. He's picked up 1 spot. How about Matt Hoos? Hoos is in the championship chase. He's only 11 points back of J.R. Shepard right now, and he leads him on the track. So if things were to end right now, Hoos would cut that lead in about half. Watch out for the Butcher of Baton Rouge. That's the 39 of Joseph Snyder. Back there, Ribeye Joe has had a tough season so far. Not quite as far up the standings as he would have wanted. I'm going to round out your top 10. We go back to 7th position. There's J.R. Shepard. And now we're going to look for a pass. That is Matt Shinowski, who drifted a little bit high. Now here's a man who has a championship on Friday nights in the super late models. And he's trying to do something here tonight in the late model. That's the 69 of Aiden Young Gun Young. And there's your top 10.
Yeah, I've been kind of watching both the 98 of Shepard and Young, and they've been kind of slicing and dicing together through the field. It's been pretty entertaining to watch. And, you know, I was going to say, and, you know, and JR, we got a caution. That's what I stopped for a minute because I saw it coming.
I'm focused. It looks like it's Chris Davis that just kind of loops it.
Yep.
Boy, of all the cautions, I've seen that one get I've seen the green stay out for something like that, but I guess he turned it just perpendicular enough to bring out the yellow.
Yeah, and we saw that a lot last night, and I think probably the root cause of that is, you know, you talked earlier about him being under the yellow line there, and he was under the yellow line as he was gassing up, and that, you know, and I talked about how being under that line will loosen it a little bit, and again, I guess he just got a little too loose there coming out of the corner and couldn't save it.
Well, let's go ahead and make the Shinowski family happy, and we're going to talk to the leader of the race right now, Tim. He started on the outside of row 1, was able to get the pass made early, and now he's been out in front for 23 laps, most of those under green. Tim, how's it feel?
It feels pretty good. I was trying to take it easy there on the start and try not to do too much, but I got a good run off the corner and was able to make a pass, fortunately.
Hey Tim, this is John up in the booth. Well, you know, this track is pretty challenging. You know, on the video here, looks like it's a little bigger than what it is, but in that car, it's a lot smaller. What's going to be your biggest challenge about attacking this track and being solid for 100 laps?
Well, the biggest thing is, I think, not to try to overdrive the car, because it can be easy to do that, especially when you're driving on the apron, to get some good turn off, but try not to use up the tires too much here because there's still 75 laps to go.
Well, real quick, last question, off topic here a little bit, but hey, I know the baseball season's around. How are the Pirates going to do this year?
I don't think they're going to do too well, but you never know. They could surprise. They definitely surprised us last year a little bit.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck, and keep her up front for us.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, this just came in from Simon and Poindexter in Vegas. Over under for wins this season for the Pirates. Oh my goodness, 72 and a half. Oh,
yeah.
There's a true fan there, Tim Shinowski. Trey Bloom back there in second. Go ahead, John.
As I say, yeah, those PA boys, both the Shinowskis and the Wolfsons, who we haven't seen in a while, but a lot of fun to race with those guys. I've run endurance races with those guys, and they are diehard Pittsburgh area fans for sure.
Well, they start to double up as we're going to be going green here very, very soon. With that said, we're going to look at our hard chargers. Well, of course, no surprise to see that J.R. Shepard is up 6 spots, but how about a tip of the hat to John Wilson? He is up 6 spots as well. Boy, I've watched him. He's had the car very, very sideways, as he likes to get the car way down low, especially in 1 and 2. Pace car pulls in. We're going to be green, working lap number 29. Dead center in an 11-race season. We are on race number 6. 5 in back of us, 5 ahead of us, and right here, dead smack in the middle of the halfway mark. And Tim Shinowski is out in front. He has led all but 1 laps. The man who's led the other lap was Trey Bloom. He led the first one starting on the pole. There is Belke now racing in third. A little battle on behind there. Very important battle if you want to talk about big picture.
Oh, we got a wreck. We got 3 cars around.
Oh, this was a backup. It involves Adam Shane, John Wilson.
You just mentioned Wilson, and Wilson had a strong run last night, and it looked like he was going to have another one tonight, but this looked like a chain reaction a little bit.
Yeah, Wilson was trying to stay off of Young, and then Shane got into him, and I'm not sure he got into him as hard as he would have if he didn't get a little help on the right rear from Jeffrey Harden. That also collects the 70 of Ruben Altice involved in that.
Yeah, tough break for those guys. They got a ways to go here, but the passing's going to be a premium here, and that just product of racing, close quarters racing. On a restart, not a lot of room, not a lot of banking. These guys are going to get jumbled up, and that sometimes they hit each other.
Was indeed. I'd like to dial up the 87, if we could, of Todd Liston, who might have had the best view of anybody on that one. I think he got out of that one okay. Todd, it's Soup up in the booth. You had a good view of that one. Did you get away clean?
I think I got a little bit of damage on my front, but I don't think it's going to be anything too severe.
John?
I'm going to take a peek at your car for you here real quick, and I'll let you know. But Kurt, I tell you had a really good run last night. Does anything translate from that modified over to the late model that you can apply and you learned from last night? And, oh, by the way, you're good on the front. You got a little bit of cosmetic damage, but it looks all right on the front there.
It's really, really different, and I'm just trying to play the first half of this race really conservatively and hope that I got something to show for the second half.
Todd, the best news is you got through that relatively clean. The bad news is it's the racing gods, the odd and even favors, have put you on the 12th outside line. Have you been outside yet?
I haven't, but I don't plan on staying there any longer than I have to.
All right, we'll keep an eye on you. Todd Liston having a good run so far, up a couple spots into the 12th spot. John, we don't often talk about equipment. But before we went green, before we went live, we were talking about maybe the difference between a belt-driven wheel on this track and maybe a direct drive wheel. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, real quick, part of iRacing, there's so many different things that you can use to get around the track here, but a belt-driven wheel, you don't quite have as much feedback as you do the direct drive. Direct drive is more like a real race car than what the belt-drivens are, so you're turning a lot here. You're turning more than you're going straight here. So some of these guys, the second half of the race, their arms are going to be on fire. Fatigue, crazy as it sounds in the virtual world, fatigue might play a factor later on here tonight.
Oh, I like that. It's going to be harder on the old guys. And, of course, you think, well, they're only racing 100 laps as we go green. You got to remember, they've opened up the practice a little bit longer, so they can run a lot of practice laps out there as well. All right, it's no surprise. It is, again, Tim Shinowski with Trey Bloom in second. Belke trying to protect that inside line with Matt Hoos right behind him. I got to talk about the 21. He is up in the points, and right now he gives a little bit of a hip check to Mike Holloway. That's our spotlighted driver there, Matt. Oh, and the Hoosinators are crying as they go around. J.R. Shepard who got into him, and then he's been punished by the racing gods, and they all pile up on top. One car goes over on its lid. Who is it? It's Jeffrey Unhappy Kemper.
That was a proverbial big one.
Well, sure.
Oh, you know, and you pulled the curtain behind. That was netcode between JR and Matt Hoos there. And when I say netcode, those cars didn't touch.
Yep.
But in the virtual world, they anticipate things there, and they thought they hit. They did not, and that's what caused it. 100% netcode.
Well, every week there is a secret meeting where the drivers draw a straw to see who gets to take out J.R. Shepard, and the rumor was that the Butcher of Baton Rouge had this one, the 39, and you can see right here. So we take one more look at it. We'll take one more look from Joe Snyder's perspective. J.R. Shepard might have had that one saved, as he can do amazing things, but Snyder got in there and finished, put the kill shot on him.
And I don't think Snyder hit him either. I think there was just a little
Not
bit of
netcode
netcode involved. Yeah. Wow.
You know, I've been doing a lot of sim racing broadcasting for several years. My goodness, for more years than I want to count. I've had the opportunity to talk to drivers who have real-world experience that come from the real world into sim racing. And they talk about how they have to leave room for the netcode. They realize that is an actual thing. And they have a different perspective, John. They seem to accept it better, and they say, it's there, you have to tolerate it. I think sometimes drivers who race so much in the sim world aren't as accepting as netcode, but it is a nature of the beast.
Well, I've got real world experience, and the big thing that you have to know is you got to know where all four corners of your car and where the limits of those things are. Because on a lot of race cars, especially short tracks, I ran late models, and I also ran the sprint cars where you could not see the right front of that car, so you had to kind of know where it is. That netcode's the same thing. There's an invisible box around the cars that, when they scan them, you got to just know where that box is. And if you run enough laps in the car, you know where those limits are. And like you said, some of the, and even some of the real world drivers, you may not be that accepting of them. And some people actually, I've seen, not here recently, but I've seen people use that to their advantage to kind of move people out of the way, knowing where those boxes are.
Have trouble seeing the right front of your car? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In a late model, I'm sitting down in there. You don't know where that right front is. You can see out, and the same thing with a sprint car. You can't see the right front tire sitting out there. You just know from the area where it is. You cannot see it.
I think Tony Stewart might agree with that. We're going green, working lap number 43. He has led all but one lap. We're talking about, yes, he is the least handsome of the Shinosky brothers, but he kept a cleaner room. It is Matt, the younger of them both. Now, Bloom is in second position. Belke continues in third. Matt Hoos is gone. Remember, we talked about big picture? Well, he was racing J.R. Shepard for points. But the good news for Hoos is Shepard is also out of the race. Well, not out of the race, but well down because of that incident.
Yeah, they're actually nose to tail going through 3 and 4 right now. So, yeah, that battle, it's alive and well, but it's just a little further back in the field.
14th and 15th is where they race. What goes around? It's Wilson again. This may not bring out the yellow flag. Also off in the grass is the 81 of Joe Segala. Because they rolled off into the Virginia alfalfa, the race stewards decided to leave it green.
Yeah, and an unrelated, related topic. I think both JR and Matt there probably had a code brown in their moment in their cars.
Shepard up into 12th, Hoos into 13th. So I got to talk again, big picture. The other driver that's in the points race is Jeffrey Harden. If I scroll through here, I'm having a hard time finding Harden. He is well down the order as well. Oh, my goodness. He was in that incident with Hoos and JR. All the points leader involved, and Harden was not able to continue. He's going to shake it up. If you're sitting back there in 4th, 5th, or 6th, you're going to get up some points here. Tim Shinosky out in front, having the race of, well, his recent career at least.
Yeah, he is. And you know what? I can tell you, you're fully aware where the guys that you know you have to beat. That 98 falls into that category, guys you got to beat. You breathe a little easier when you know they're down the running order or have had some problems.
It is the halfway mark. And they are well down the order. We're talking about Hoos and Shepard. You can see it on the tower. Nice little battle that we're looking at. Stuck on the outside. Boy, it seems like he's been on the outside the entire race. We're talking about Matt Shanowski. He got a little bit of a hip check there with Mike Holloway, and our spotlighted driver, who Simon and Poindexter put at 12.5, is racing now in 8th spot. And he's got another hungry driver, Ruben Altice, right behind him. Want to talk about a man on the move? Altice is up many positions. Wait a minute, I have news about Hoos. Let me see if I can focus in and find out what it is. Oh, Matt Hoos is in pit lane right now, and you can see the steam not coming from his engine, but coming from his helmet on this one. We're going to see if we can dial it up.
Little contact with the 79. 79 got squirrely coming out of 2, and yeah, I can see where Matt, that steam's coming.
Boy, it has not been a good night as it goes from bad to very worse for Matt Hoos. All the little Hoosinators out there with their box of Kleenex halfway empty.
Yeah, Matt's going to be happy to leave the unfriendly confines of Langley here this week.
Indeed. So let's set your top 5 for you. I know you can see it on the tower, but we should point it out again. Tim Shanowski, Trey Bloom, Austin Belke. Those guys have been up front the whole time. Now, Joe Snyder is up 2 spots, but Ribeye has been really good. It's hard to say what he's got under. The guy, John, I think that we got to watch out for the second half of this race is Aiden Young Gun Young, because he is notorious for being quick when it counts.
Yes, he does, and we saw him make a run at it last night and had a good night. So we know he can get around this track, even though the cars are very different. The kid's got a lot of asphalt experience and definitely knows how to finish these things out.
All right, now we drop back a little bit. I think we got a 5-car battle here that could steam up into trouble. Matt Shanowski, Lowell Jewell, Mike Holloway. The fastest car out there, I think, might be Ruben Altice in the 70. Wow, that is Davis up in the 7, who's up there, who's going to lose some positions, as it is J.R. Shepard getting underneath. Shepard now in 11th, and he's got a smorgasbord in front of him. He's got to think that Shanowski, who's racing in 6th position, is catchable.
Yeah, I would think so. But JR is also pretty smart here. You know, it's a long season. His chief rival is out of the race. So, you know, he doesn't want to put himself in a position where he's going to find himself on pit road with that 21 car. So I think you might see the JR be a little cautious here, but he is still definitely quick, though.
Let me pluralize your noun there. We'll go with rivals, as is indeed not only Matt Hoos, but Jeffrey Harden, who sit 21st and 22nd, and they're done. Well, you never know. Matt Hoos might actually take his car. You never know. Wouldn't be surprised to see him do his little infield routine. Well, he can't really do it here like he can at the other track, because there's no real infield lane, pit lane for him to loop around. Nice battle. There's Shepard making a move.
Yeah, and he's below that yellow line. I mean, he's making that car rotate down there. And he picks off another one, moves up to 7th now.
My goodness, it was just a few moments ago when I talked about he was back there behind, Davis and Jewell and the 30 of Holloway. He got them all. I said, probably not out of the question for him to get to Matt Shanowski. Oh my gosh, it took him 10 laps, and now he's got the 31 in his sights.
Yeah, and now this is a part of the night here where the transition of the tires, if you took care of them, you're in good shape. But if you kind of overdrove the first part of the race and maybe used them up a little, this next, 30, 35 laps are going to be miserable.
Remember, we saw those drivers spin off into the grass and the yellow did not come out? Let's talk about one of them, the 81 of Joe Segala. He's racing a 17th, last car on the lead lap. Now, Joe doesn't want to really cause trouble for the 7 of Shanowski, but he also doesn't really want to go a lap down if he can prevent it. He's always a competitor, so Segala out there doing the best he can to put in some laps and stay ahead of the leaders.
Yeah, at this point to do that, you just race the track. Turn the relatives off. Don't worry about where that leader is. Obviously, watching the mirrors so you know when they're coming up, but just race the track. Bust the best laps you can. And by the way, Jeff Harden is back on the track.
Clearly listening to the broadcast, he is 14 laps behind Matt Hoos right now, who's called it a night. So we see the 32 out there. He'll try to stay out of the way and see if he can pick up some positions. Talking about picking up positions, well, J.R. Shepherd was able to get around Matt Shanowski. Is there time? Is it actually possible for Shepherd to be relegated back to about 15th or 16th spot and then make it up to the front? Segala gets out of the way. We talked about him. Those lead cars get through. Well, here comes Shepherd. Now, the guy that realizes the Shepherd is coming is the 69 of Aiden Young. Look for Aiden Young to start to lose patience with the Butcher of Baton Rouge and maybe give Ribeye a little bit of a cleaver shot there and get the pass made.
Yeah, JR's sitting 6th, but I can assure you these next 5 guys are going to be a lot more difficult to pass, I think. I think these guys have actually been savoring their tires. They've been single file a good part of this race. They probably got a little more left in the tank than these guys back here have been racing each other hard. I wouldn't think you'd have it as easy as a time through here.
We look at Shepherd, yeah. And then there's a difference between Shepherd picking up positions when you're trying to pick up through drivers that usually race mid-pack to then these guys up here. Aiden Young is going to be a hard pass. John?
He is, but, watch the line. Shepherd is using a different line through the corners than the rest of these guys, and he's picking up time doing it.
That was Jeffrey Harden who pulled his car down pit lane to get out of the way of the leaders, trying to just get some laps in. John, help me out. Does Tim Shanowski, as we got 25 to go, he's got to be thinking right now, just let this stay green, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's run out of tires. Maybe he could use some yellow, but he looks really smooth. I think the green flag laps are in his favor.
Yeah, I think he wants to leave it green. He's in a rhythm right now. He's controlling the race. The last thing you want to do is get in a dogfight and have to use up your tires in a span. Right now, like I said, controlling the pace, run the lines he wants. Oh, yeah, he wants the sucker to stay green.
All right, we have to look at the attention we have on the track right now. This is the best battle. It is the 69 of Aiden Young. He has a championship on Friday nights in the super late models. He's come over to Saturday to race. He's behind him is a man with 17 titles to his name, looking for his 18th, the current points leader. He has 4 wins in 5 races. Let me correct myself. Yeah, 4 wins in 5 races, and that is J.R. Shepherd. Shepherd gets that car so low. He gets a good drive off of 2. He's got a nose in there. He is not able to, yes, he is. I thought that Aiden Young was going to be able to close him down, but that's not. Then they come off of the 4th corner, and iRacing is going to score J.R. Shepherd up into 6th position. My goodness.
Yeah, and this is where I was saying earlier in the race about JR being able to turn down under people coming out of the corner. Exactly what he did there with Aiden and is able to make the pass. But like I said, let's see what we've got going here with these next few guys.
Okay, look, they pay us up in the booth to really set the drama right now. So let's go ahead and talk about the personality of the drivers in front of Shepherd. Well, it is Joe Snyder. Snyder can be hot and cold. He can be aggressive. He can be very conservative right now. A man who, if I had to bet how he's going to race, is Austin Belke, one of the hardest guys to pass in a Bootleg Racing League event. Trey Bloom has to be happy racing in 2nd position, but honestly, I think if Shepherd gets behind him, he's going to wave the curtain and let Shepherd by. Tim Shanowski has been around long enough that I think he can race Shepherd hard and not have to worry about his reputation being tarnished. Look for Shanowski to be a tough pass if Shepherd were to get there. Assuming he gets there, we have 17 to go. Shepherd's got a lot of cars to get before he gets to the lead.
Yeah, and Austin Belke and JR, those guys are teammates too, so I don't know how hard Austin will put up a fight there.
Shepherd gets a little bit of a hello to the Butcher of Baton Rouge and pushes him out of the way. 1 more position for the 98. They say that Shepherd races clean, but that was a little bit of a hello to the 39. And now he's up into 4th.
That was the case I was talking about earlier when we did the track preview. I think Schneider's having a hard time getting out of the corners and not shoving that nose up the track, and that's a case where he's having to work the throttle when JR's getting in the throttle.
Okay, the entire Shanowski clan are all licking the envelope and sending out their donations to the Trey Bloom and Austin Belke fan club right now, because Shanowski needs Belke to put up a fight on his teammate.
Behind the lap car that did not get out of the way in 3 and 4.
That was Mike Allen. That's surprising because Mike Allen is a really good back marker. Now here they come, trying to get underneath. Trey Bloom's corner exit has really hurt, and they have backed up now behind Bloom. And this is an opportunity for Shepard to maybe get a twofer. Go ahead.
I can't believe nobody else is trying to run that line that JR is. I mean, you got a rearview mirror, you know where he's going. Nobody is. He's just cutting that corner coming out of 4. He's doing the same thing coming out of 2 and getting these great runs.
Oh, my goodness, the car is sideways so much. He must have on some very special tires on that. Oh, look at this. Belky getting into the back, and he turns him. Oh, man, talk about your reputation. But Shepard is caught up in it as well, and it allows Snyder to scoot by if the iRacing stewards will give it. A position loss for Shepard, a position gained for Shepard. Oh, Austin.
Yeah, I'll just let the picture tell the story there.
Your heart's got to go out to Trey Bloom, who clearly there was not a lot left, and maybe his lap times had come down, but...
Are they giving Belky back his spot? Wow.
So we look at how this is going to line up. Shanoski's currently in second, and they are... Belky is behind Tim right now.
Controversy at Langley. It's the first controversy. It's the first controversy since 1969 on the moon landing. We've got a second controversy now.
Well, okay, this is what's confusing to me. So I called it during the spin that Snyder was able to get around Shepard, so they're going to let Snyder stay in fourth, and Shepard third, and Shepard's going to stay in fourth. But somehow Belky, who was racing in third at the time and turned Bloom, is going to be in second. Now let's be honest here. This may not be the blessing that it seems like. Belky's going to be on the outside of row 1. It wouldn't surprise me if
Shepard is going to be the outside. Shepard's on the outside too.
Yeah, with Trey Young behind him. Young knows his way around a restart. Let's round out the rest of your top 5. How about Chris Davis? Hello, Matt Shanowski, sorry, and Chris Davis back there. Mike Holloway. Hey, Johnny, baby. You said the under? He fell well down, but now it looks like he's going to beat that 12.5, going to make you look like a wise man. Ruben Altis. We've talked about how he's been racing and all the positions he's picked up. He continues to do so now, up 11 spots, and they're going to score.
Oh, wait a minute. It looks like, is Belky dropping back?
Justice has been done. Now tell me, John, do you think this is coming from iRacing, or do you think it was coming from... This seems like a very long yellow flag. I wonder... And now they're scoring him down a lap as he goes... Now,
wow. Well,
there you go.
Well, that changes everything, because that's going to put JR on the inside, and yee.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Tim Shanowski and Joe Snyder have got to get on the phone and tell each other, we are going to race side by side when this thing goes green. J.R. Shepard sits in third. Now, if there's a man who can race the outside line and make the inside line go slow, it is Aiden Young. Pace car is in. Get ready. What a great start from Shanowski. That's the good news. The bad news is Snyder has no defense on Shepard. Tim Shanowski, a veteran of many a bootleg season. He has stepped away for a while. It's good to see him back. Right now, he's got a man who is a legend in his own time chasing him, but he only has 4 more laps to hold him off. Tim Shanowski working lap number 97. The 98 machine of J.R. Shepard looking to make it his 5th win of the season. They come out of 4 right now. They're going to be working lap number 98, 99, and 103 to go. Shanowski trying to hug the inside like a shrunken pair of Fruit of the Looms. There is nowhere for the 98 to go. Go, John.
As I say, he's running JR's line. That's exactly what he's got to be doing here.
They come across the line, 2 to go. Shepard tries to get the car underneath the yellow to get a good drive off of 3. He doesn't have much for Shanowski. They come around. You know what it's going to be? It's the white flag. The 07 has 0.4 of a mile to go. 4 quarters, 3 quarters, a back straight, quarters 3 and 4, and he picks up the win. Does Shepard have anything for him through 3 and 4? The answer is no. Out of 4, the win goes to Tim Shanoski. J.R. Shepard will settle for second. The ribeye Joe Snyder gets third. You can hear the fans celebrate here at Langley as the fireworks are about to fly. We have our third different winner of the season, and it is Tim Shanoski. You want to stick around for the interviews because it'll be great to talk to the younger Shanoski brother. The racing is over. Our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to the 3 podium finishers, ask them the solar system question, and then put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to Langley Speedway and VGN's 6th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series Season 25. The results are in, and I'm going to be excited to give them to you right now. Tim Shanoski started on the front row, and he raced up front the whole time. My goodness, he had a multi-time champion behind him, but Tim was able to hang on to pick up the win, and the fans are happy about that. J.R. Shepard raced up front, got spun, went all the way to the back, made a valiant effort to come through the field, but ran out of laps. He'll have to settle for second. Joe Snyder, the Butcher of Baton Rouge, had a nice run. He'll get third. The back half of your top 5, well, that's Matt Shanoski. Boy, it's a good day for the Shanoskis. And Chris Davis, a quiet 18th to 5th. Well done for the number 7. Back half of your top 10, Adam Shane, Mike Holloway, who hit the under and made John a winner at the betting window. Bruce Pearson, a nice run from 20th to 8th, a quiet run for the 22. Aiden Young, we saw him race up front, didn't have anything for the guys at the end. John Wilson had some issues. I think he's going to be happy with the 10th.
Yeah, coming home 11th is going to be Ruben Altiz, followed by the boss man, Lowell Jewell. Daryl Weiniger is going to come home in the Baker's Dozen in 13th. 14th will be Trey Bloom after the bad luck there, late race incident with Austin Belkey. Coming home 15th will be Michael Allen. 16th is Austin Belkey, now 1 lap down. First car lap down, that is. Joe Segala, Todd Liston, Donnie Moore. Jeff Harden's going to round up the top 20, and finishing 21st will be Kurt Smith. 22nd, Matt Hoos. 23rd, Jeff Kemper. And finishing 24th, and hopefully everybody else fails post-race inspection, so I can win. That's me, 24th.
There you go. Just to drill down a little bit on Jeffrey Harden, we saw him that he was back there at about 23rd position when he decided to go back out. He was able to pick up 3 spots as he gets into 20th. So well done, Jeffrey, clearly thinking about the points, as he's going to be in second position ahead of his rival, Matt Hoos, but well behind J.R. Shepard when we go to the next round. With that said, we're going to talk to our race winner here tonight. What a great job here. We get to talk to Tim Shanoski. With the win, Tim, you led all but the very first lap. Let's talk about your racing line at the end there. It looked like you changed it up a little bit when you saw the 98 behind you.
I don't think I changed it up too much. I was trying to, I think I was probably running the apron a little bit more.
Yeah.
But just to keep him from getting under me. But I had done that earlier in the race as well. Just he wasn't going to be able to pass me on the outside, so I just had to protect the inside.
What was your thinking out in front the whole way? Were you racing all you had, or were you racing just enough to stay in the lead?
For about the first 40 laps or so, I was just staying out in front just enough to keep the lead. I didn't want to use up my tires too much, like I said during our first interview together. And then after the caution with about, we went green with a little bit more than 50 laps to go, I was running a little bit harder, and that's when I set my fastest laps of the race. And I was hoping that I had saved enough during that first 40 laps to where tire wear wouldn't be an issue for me.
Yeah, we'll get you out of here in this. As we were talking about your strategy with about 25 to go, we were wondering, we thought you would be happy if the thing went green all the way to the end, that a yellow flag was really not something you were looking forward to. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was hoping that it would stay green. I was really racing as hard as I could, trying to pull a little bit of a gap on Trey, and then I really wasn't looking for it. I wasn't too happy with that caution, but that puts a little bit more pressure on you, but fortunately I was able to hold them off there on the last restart.
Okay, we're going to give you our poll question for the season here. We ask each driver when we have the opportunity to give their opinion. Your favorite celestial solar system body, you don't get to vote the Earth. What's it going to be?
Has anyone chosen the sun yet?
No, you made the sun is definitely in there, so that's
it's
the
pretty
sun
important,
gets on
I
the
think,
board.
so.
The sun is indeed important. Tim Shinofsky thinking outside the box. Well done as he gets the win.
Thanks, guys.
All right, you got it, John. Who you got?
I got a runner-up. Put on a good show coming to the back, from the back twice actually, to get a runner-up. That's J.R. Shepard. And J.R., man, a interesting night for you.
Yeah, definitely a lot harder than I wanted to have to work tonight. Probably the hardest that I've had to drive those cars ever on any of the races. So, yeah, just trying to take care of the stuff early, was trying to be patient, and when there was opportunities, try to take them. And I'm still not sure what happened with that spin going into turn one. Felt like I kept my car at the very bottom of the track, but
JR, you did. It was a pretty good sized net code there. I could have stood between the two cars. So yeah, bad luck there for both of you guys.
Yeah, it makes me feel a little bit better. But hey, huge shout out to my teammates on the road racing side, Tim Shinofsky, Matt Shinofsky. They had extremely good runs. I know Matt had to go to the back or middle of the field a couple of times, and he came back. So to win the race for Tim, and Matt coming home in fourth is huge. And also big shout out to Joe Snyder for driving a really smart race.
Yeah, and this was a interesting track with the no banking and everything else. Take us into the car for just a second. You had to drive hard. How did you balance that and to keep the tires on the car? Because this sucker eats right fronts, like the Cookie Monster eats cookies.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that I love about the late models. I know a lot of guys don't like the limited horsepower that we have. Makes it a lot harder to try to make passes in a lot of cases, especially at a place like this. But yeah, they will shred the tires, so you got to really be thinking about that through the whole run. And a lot of that's just taking care of it on corner entry. And there, when I was coming through the pack, I was driving hard, even on corner entry, which is not good for the tires, but you have to make yourself hesitate to get back on the throttle, because that's where you can really choose the tires up, is from throttle from the center of the corner off. So yeah, it's just trying to be patient with it. It's hard to do, but these cars can be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, JR. Well, congratulations again on a runner-up. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Yep, thanks, John, and a big shout out to the Bootleg Racing League for putting this on for us each and every week. My team, Different Path Motorsports, and of course everything that you guys do up in the Virtual Grip Network booth. We appreciate you guys doing this for us and making us look good.
Thank you very much, JR. That's JR Shepard, our runner-up in Soup. I think you got the old guy from Baton Rouge, Joe Snyder.
I do indeed, out there in the sausage-pleasing machine. Joe, I think we're talking about Joe Snyder, who finished third. I think the key to the race might have been lap number 89 when Belke got into Trey Bloom and Shep was there. You were able to sneak around the top side, but barely, huh?
Yeah, barely, but I'll take it.
How you feel? Now, you have a third place already this season. You picked it up back at Stafford. It's been the last couple races have been kind of hard. You got yourself 4 top 10s, though, so it's got to be happy with the way you're racing.
Oh, yeah. If we could just get some of these fast guys to quit, I think I'd be doing all right.
It is indeed. You saw Shepard go by you twice, actually. He got by you the first time, then got punted into the back and made his way all the way through. Did you have anything there at the end? Were you pretty confident for third place?
Yeah, my car was feeling pretty good. There was a lot of cautions, and I got to tell you, I'm not letting JR by me. That guy, I don't know which direction he's coming from, but he just like, there he is. So, if it looks like I'm pulling over and letting him by, yeah, I am not.
I'm smiling ear to ear. I love the attitude. Well done, Joe. Congratulations on the podium, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thanks, Lowell and everybody for putting on this league. It's awesome.
Joe Snyder out of Baton Rouge in the sausage pleasing machine. With that said, we're going to just wrap this up here with the best part of the broadcast. That is me doing a horrible job closing this thing out. But watch this. I'm going to do this professionally because I've been commentating for many a year. Tonight's broadcast has been a production of the Virtual Grip Network. And if you like what you saw tonight and you want to see more of it, we'll be back at this very same time next week for round number 7 from, what a great vacation spot, Myrtle Beach. And also has a nice little speedway there. We've been there many a times, always puts on a good show. Before then, we're going to be back, Friday night, we're going to be at Myrtle Beach Speedway for round 7, Friday night, February 16th. That's going to be after the Super Bowl. Apparently, there is no pretty good racing league event coming up this Tuesday because it's not on the list unless they've made a mistake, or I don't know how the calendar. Oh, they're off for a holiday. All right, well, that said, so go ahead and, it's a good night to take your wife out Tuesday night or husband or significant other of any gender you prefer. With that said, we'd like to get out of here before I get us in any more trouble, so I'm going to go to the closet. You have no hat. Until next time, we'll try to do better. Have fun storming the castle.